your hand, please. There's a little raise your hand icon on the GoToMeeting panel. All right, great. I see a few hands going up, so I assume folks can hear me. Thank you. All right. So, my name is Lori McNeely. I have been supporting Ultriva for more than 5 years. And with me is Naveen Gautamekala, and he has been with Ultriva for more than 10 years, twice as long as I have.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Before we start jumping in on the webinar, we have a few FAQs to go over. If you have a question, please use the question box on your GoToMeeting panel. We'll try to get to everything throughout the webinar or at the end if time allows. We're going to be recording this. In fact, we're recording it right now, and we'll have it available on our help site so that you can view it in the future. And we plan on hosting these webinars at this time. Well, maybe, maybe not. We're doing a change here. We're going to do the third Thursday of the month. We have been doing them on Fridays. But we have gotten some feedback from some folks that a lot of people do flex time and they are off on Fridays, or Fridays are very light all the time. So we'll be doing these on Thursdays in the future. And so our next one is going to be Thursday, October 17th, and we will be going over some of the Ultriva reports. So we'll try to, maybe pick 3 to 5 reports and go through them in detail and kind of explain a few things. If there are any reports that you're interested in that you want to make sure that we cover, send me an email, please, with the name of the report. We'll try to incorporate it if we can. And we are doing these in Ultriva version 7.5 and higher. A little bit of general info here about our user groups. With this webinar, we want you to gain a better understanding of the hierarchy of the user groups in Ultriva, how to assign users to the groups, and how to set up my routines. We will have a few short surveys throughout this webinar. We're going to give you the results of those as well. And speaking of that, we have a couple of poll questions right now. So, Naveen?
Okay, here is the first poll question.
All right, so if you could answer, please. Have you created any user groups at your plant? All right, we got some group votes coming in. Give people a few more seconds here.
Yep, we'll give them like 5 more seconds. Okay. Yeah, the votes have, I think people have started voting, so I will close the poll and we will share the results shortly. So here are the results.
All right, looks like 35% of you have created your own user groups. Several, looks like the majority have not, and some people aren't sure. All right, I think we have one more poll question at the moment. So let's go ahead and...
Let me hide this and launch the other poll question. Yeah, this goes in hand with the other question.
All right, so have you ever assigned yourself or someone else to a user group? All right, we're getting several votes coming in.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody looks like has voted. I will close the poll in about 5 seconds. Okay, I'm closing the poll right now. Okay, we got 100% votes for this one.
All right, everybody voted. Woo! All right, so looks like a lot of people have.
Yeah, that's
all right. Yeah. So very good. All right, so we'll go ahead and hide that. You can see my screen again. All right. First, we will go over the hierarchy here. As you can see, we have three types of groups here. We've got three tabs. We have system groups, global, and local. So first we'll go over what the system groups are. And these are the Ultriva defined user groups. So Ultriva, we've taken several roles throughout the plant, and we've assigned those roles like maybe plant buyer, plant planner, plant user, and kind of assign some general permissions to those, what we think those type of roles, permissions those roles should have. And these groups are available to all plants, and you can tell that because here the business name in this column, it has a dash. So if it has a dash, it means it's available to all plants and work centers. So there are several types of user groups. They can also be, you can create plant user groups, supplier groups, work center groups, request for quote or inventory optimization tool groups. Most people are probably familiar when you set up a user. It's you're probably either assigning a plant group or a supplier group. If you have the internal module, you may be familiar with assigning a work center group. So these system ones are the ones that Ultriva has defined. They are not editable. You can only view what the permissions are. You can't make any changes to those. Next we have, there can be global groups. So the global user groups, they're created at the app CSR, so the app customer service role, or the super user levels. Some of you may be familiar with the term super user. So generally there's one or two people at a plant that they are assigned this this type of customer service role access so that they can make changes at a global level. And this is where you would create these global groups. And when you do that, they are available to all plants or work centers if applicable. And you know that because there is a dash, again, here in the business name column. The other kind of group will be local user groups. And so these are created at the plant or work center level. And you can see here I'm signed in as myself here when I took this little screenshot. And you can only add user groups, local groups, when you're logged in at the plant or work center level. And you know that because here in the business name column, it shows the plant name that they're associated with. So if I have 2 or 3 plants, these particular user groups are only going to show up for the folks in my plant on the selection list. And I kind of just pointed that out. We've got our business name there. So, you know, why should you create your own user groups? One of the main reasons is so that users only have access to these specific actions needed for their role. And then, you know, they have limited access. It makes it easier to train them because they don't have a whole lot of menu options. They just have enough to do their job. And if you do create your own user groups, you know the exact permissions that the users have. You know, you don't have to guess of, if I assign somebody this Ultriva system group of plant buyer, does the plant buyer have permission to add a supplier? You know, I don't know. So if you create your own, then you know what those permissions are. And then also, if you are using the Ultriva system groups, somebody, and you give somebody, assign somebody one of those, they may end up with some sort of access that you didn't mean for them to have. You know, they may have access to go in and add a supplier or add an item, and you don't really want them to have that permission. So, that's those are some of the reasons why you should create your own. So that being said, we are ready here to start our demo portion. And let's see if I can.
If I can add something there before we go to the demo. Generally, what we have done is when we've created these system groups, we've looked at what the general role a user can have, and we have created those. So what we generally recommend is before you go and create any group, take a look at all the system groups available and see if the user fits into any of these roles. If they don't, then yes, go ahead and create your own groups.
Absolutely, and so I am logged in as the app CSR role or super user kind of a role here on the system system tab here. Like the plant buyer, we can see, if we highlight it, we can see what the actual permissions are for that plant buyer, and so you can kind of see. Yes, the plant buyer can add an item, edit an item, and view details. But let me actually back up here a little bit, and I'm going to cancel. So if you are the super user or app CSR person, as soon as you log in, you're taken to this screen right here. And from here, you would just click User Group. And as you can see, that's kind of where we just were. So we've got our 3 types of groups here. We've got our system. I'm going to go ahead and go to the global. All right, and so we'll go over adding a couple of global groups here. So first thing we want to do is click the Add button. We have to determine what our title is going to be and what our description is going to be. So I kind of, so that we can help differentiate between the Ultriva system group names and what we're going to do, I kind of like taking kind of maybe my customer name up here and kind of using a part of that for the title here. I'm just going to go ahead and give my initials here, and we're going to create a supplier shipper kind of a role. So I'll say supplier shipper, and for description I'll kind of do the same thing. We'll just do supplier shipper. So then our next step is we need to choose what kind of group we're going to be creating. We're not going to do a plant user group for this one. We're going to do a supplier user group. So we click supplier. It's going to change some of our permissions down here. Okay, so the first thing that I normally like to do, since we don't want to give anybody any unintended access to anything, I like to click here on the first level, and so it's only showing me the first level permissions. And then I want to click deny up here to deny everything. And so kind of scroll down through there. Everything's now denied at the first level access. You can kind of see the rest of these are indented. So next I want to go to the second level access, and then I want to deny everything there. And now we'll scroll down. So now everything's denied. We can kind of see everything that's indented under that now has denied. So now this person has, this user group has access to nothing at the moment. So I want to go back to the first level and kind of choose what we want to give the person access to for the supplier shipper. First, I can see they don't need any of this type of access for adding any entities or users or the calendar. That's not going to be their role. But we do want to give them access to my account, because my account, it will allow them to change the number of records per page. You know, the default is 10. They may want to have 25 or 50. If we give them access to my account, they can also change their password or their phone number or those sorts of things. So First, we do have to, since this is at the first level, we do need to allow first level access. So I'm going to put a allow here for the first level. And then if I just go ahead and click my account, it'll drop us down there to where we need to go. And then I'll click allow for my account. We do want them to be able to change their profile, change their password, and change their preferences. We don't want to give them the business unit access. We want to leave that as deny. So those are the things under my account that we need to give them access to. Next, there are some things on the second level. Now the only thing they can do is change a few things here. So if we click the second level, we want to give them access so that they can do some shipping. So we have to grant access to this second level. Okay, and if we try to click, we know they need to ship. If we just click ship, hey, the parent does not have the rights. We've got to click OK. And the parent is this, you can see these are kind of like in a little hierarchy here. They need to have access to go to actions and supplier actions. So now we can just, after granting that access, we can just say ship. And that's pretty much all they need to have access to here in this portion. We may want to give them access to some reports. So if I click reports, we'll go ahead and click grant access to the reports. The supplier status might be a good one for them to have access to. Excel reports. We don't want to give them access to everything because that's going to be a lot of unnecessary stuff for their shipping role. However, maybe giving them access to the Excel outstanding shipments and the general outstanding shipments reports, those would be most applicable to what they are doing. And they will not need access to any custom reports. So once we are done with that, we can go ahead and click Save. And now we have this new user group, so that if we create some supplier users, this will now be on the selection list as a role to choose from, and it is available to everybody. So that's how we create a supplier group. We'll create another group here. I will create a receiving group, a receiving user group here. So I'll again give it the name of my my location here, and we'll say receiving role. And this will be a plant user group because it is for receiving. Same thing as last time. Let's go to the first level and we're going to deny everything. If we click the first check box, that denies everything for that. And we can kind of double check and scroll through. Yep, that's everything here on the first level all the way through tools. Everything's denied. If I click here for second level, we'll scroll back up here to the top on the second level. And then click deny here, and if we look, we've now denied everything on the second level all the way through integration here. So now we need to assign our permissions here for our receiver. Same thing, I'm going to go back to the first level. They do not need access to do any adding items or work centers or calendars, anything like that, but we do want to give them access to the My Account. So we'll give them access to the first level here, and then we will click My Account, and then give them access to My Account, change their profile, change their password, and change their preference. Okay, we don't want to give them access to change anything with the business unit or the business unit configuration. We need to keep that denied. only for them to change their own preferences and password and profile. Okay, next we want to go to the second level for our receiver user group. We do want to probably give them access to the buyer material status so they can see that. There are some buyer actions here that we want to give them access to. Obviously, we need to give them access to receive. And then next, that's we may want to give them access to scan. Maybe they need to do a, maybe they have a, sometimes we'll use a scanner, and so we also want to make sure they have access to scan receive something. And for the reports, again, we don't really want to give them access to all the reports, because they don't need it. They don't need to spend time kind of looking at the savings analysis by time or supplier performance. That's just not their particular role of what they need to do. So probably might be good if they did have access at least to this buyer status. And we'll give them access to maybe the outstanding receive report here. The Excel outstanding receive looks like we may also have another outstanding receipt and maybe some, let's see, receipts due as well. So that it looks like a couple of good reports here. Maybe outstanding shipments in case the supplier maybe hasn't shipped it and we want to see what's outstanding there. But that's about it. That's probably about all they need access to. No other reports here. So we'll go ahead and save that. And I think now we're ready for our next poll question. So Naveen, if you could go ahead and launch that. And I'll see if I can unmute Naveen here so we can hear him. All right.
Yeah, actually I also muted myself, so that's why okay, here is the question.
All right. So are you aware, do you know that you can set up my routines for a user group? So go ahead and answer. We got votes coming in.
Yep, we've got about, most of the,
All right, a lot of people voted.
Yeah, I'm just closing the poll in another 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Sorry, 5 minutes is a long time. And here are the results.
All right, it looks like most people were not aware that you can set up the My Routines. A few of you are not sure what that is or what it does, so we will definitely be going over that. So, all right, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and I'll hide this so you can see my screen again. All right, so we just set up this receiving role that's still highlighted here. And so if we click on the My Routines, so first off, maybe I can kind of go over what this is and what it does. So with the My Routines, when you are assigned this particular role on your home screen, or this user's home screen if they were assigned, part of that dashboard is, the My Routines for, what they might do daily, weekly, or monthly. So you can customize this. And so this is just a nice shortcut on the home screen so that the user can quickly get to the receive screen. So maybe I don't like this description here. We can edit these. So I might not want it to say receive goods. Maybe I want it to say receive cards. Okay. And I want this one to be something that they do every day. And then perhaps maybe weekly, I want them to see if there's any outstanding shipments. And then I won't put anything for monthly at this time, but we'll go ahead and actually save this. So now anybody who's assigned this role, they're only going to have these very few permissions and just a couple of things showing up on their My Routines area. So our next step will be to actually we'll create a new user, and we'll assign this user to this LJM receiving role. So I'll go ahead and do that while I'm logged in here as my app CSR super user. I'm going to go to my plant. I only have the one plant, so this is mine. I'm going to go to more options users. It'll be a little bit different. I'll show you when you're logged in as yourself. I'll show you that here in just a moment. But while I'm already here, I thought we'd just go ahead and edit here. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Add button, and I'll call this I'll just put some dummy text in here, and I'll call this Lori Webinar. All right, and so now if I look, I have this LJM receiving role, the one we just created, and I'll give myself a password here. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. All right, so now let me log out, and I'll log back in. I'll log in as this Lori Webinar. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Did I spell everything correctly here? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, all right. I'll double check something here. Maybe I need to reset my password. Maybe I typed it incorrectly. L-O-R-I. Did I put a space there? Oh, shame on me if I put a space there. I bet I did. I did. Oh my goodness. Or did I?
The users have noticed that, Lori, and yeah, some people have let me know that.
Some people let me know that I kind of messed up there and put a space. We'll see if this works. I've never put a space in my login name before. All right, well, it's doing something, so. All right. So, uh-oh, my other thing did not show up here. But you can kind of see here. Let me refresh my screen. Maybe I'm... all right, so maybe not. Okay, so as you can see, at least here, I only have the very few things here on the My Routines. So I've got my received cards. And it took my description because it did say something else. So if we click that, it takes me directly to my received cards filter. I just click the Go button to get my received cards list. So as you can see, this user just has a couple things here. If we go to actions, if I quit clicking on things, yeah. So really, this is the only action that I've assigned myself. I can only receive something. So if you look at your login, you probably have a whole lot of actions on the list, and you got to hunt and peck, kind of try to really look at the screen to find what you need. This receiver, boom, they only have permission to do this. If we look at the reports, they just have these outstanding shipments and receipts due kind of reports and the buyer status. So you can kind of see how it's a bit easier to train somebody, somebody who's doing receiving and receiving only, this is kind of their only option here. So if I log out, I'm going to log in as myself. Okay, so this might be what many of you are are more familiar with. You log in here, you're at your plant level. If I go to admin user, this is kind of where I see my users and I can add my users. So we may want to, so originally this person was maybe only going to do receiving. We want to do a bit of cross-training, and anybody who's doing receiving, now we want them to release cards. And anybody who's releasing cards, we now want them to also do receiving. So, kind of got this dual role going on. So if you, I don't know if many of you were paying attention. Sounds like a lot of you were, since you knew that I had a space there in my name. If I go to admin user group and go to this global, you can see I don't have access to add any here because this is the global level, but you can see I do have a a releasing cards role already set up. If we look at the permissions for that, I kind of set it up beforehand, similar to what we were doing before. This only has access to the changing their password and their My Profile. Okay, and then they also have access to do a releasing and do a scan release as well, and then maybe a few of the reports also. So for ease of use, I've kind of already set up this particular group, and so I can assign users to this group. This can be done one of a couple of ways. Since I'm already here at this level, there's an assigned users button. I can go ahead and click this. Nobody's assigned to this user group yet. If there was, it would show me, and then say, hey, do you want to assign someone? Since nobody's here, it's saying, hey, go ahead and assign somebody. So here is my Lori webinar. I can just put a check mark here and assign this group to this particular user. Okay, so now if we look, and I'm back here at this level, my consume user group is here. If I click assigned users, it will show me now that this is assigned. I could assign somebody else. I just wanted to show that to you. So we'll go back here. So now, if we look at this particular user, I'm going to go back to admin user. We can see now, we know if I view this, that my primary role initially assigned is this receiving role. However, if I go to more options, groups, I can see I now have a secondary role of this releasing cards or consuming cards. So now what we can do is, if I log out and log back in as this user, you can see that these permissions are now combined for this particular person. So all right. So now you can see I've got a couple of things here on my routines. I've got the receive and release. This release cards group had something in the monthly my routines. So I'm going to, if I click release cards, boom, it takes me directly there as well. I can just click the go button and it'll show me everything that's available to release. Now if I click on actions, you can see nice and crisp, clean. I can release cards, I can receive cards, and that's all. All right, I'm going to go ahead and as soon as my screen refreshes here, I'll go ahead and log out. I'll log back in as myself. will go back to admin user. Okay, so and I was telling you there are other ways that you can assign groups to users. A minute ago we were at admin user group. You can also do that here. More options. Groups. Okay, I'm assigned to these two groups. I could do a show unassigned, and I could assign this user to some of these other roles. I'm going to go ahead and click the back button. I didn't really want to do that at this time. Okay, so the next thing I think to go over is cloning a user. So if you have ever cloned a user or know about cloning a user, please raise your hand, and we'll see if anybody's even aware of this feature. Well, I see a couple of hands going up, just a few. So all right, so this will be a nice good thing to go over. All right, so let's say I myself, if I look at everything that I am assigned to, I'm assigned to a few workers here, and I'm assigned to a few suppliers that are in the system. So let's pretend, hey, I'm getting this big promotion. I'm not going to be doing this job anymore, but I'm going to be transitioning all of my stuff over to John Smith. So John is set up here. If I look at more options, business units, to see what his privileges are, he's not assigned to anybody or anything yet. You know, he just has his login. And if I look, his role is a plant buyer. And so he only has the plant buyer permissions. If I look at the groups that he is assigned to, he's only assigned to the plant buyer. So he doesn't have a secondary group, or he's not assigned to any suppliers or anything like that. So John, he'll be taking over. I don't want to spend all of this time trying to go in here and say more options, business units, and assign him to each and every supplier and give him that exact same access that I already have. So what I can do is I can clone my login. So if I highlight myself and I go to more options, clone user, and then I I check mark John, and then I say clone. It tells me somebody was successfully cloned from my login, so I know I just selected John. So if I do more options groups, we can now see that John is assigned as a secondary role here as a plant admin. And if I do more options business unit, he is now assigned to everything that I was assigned to, all these suppliers and work centers. So pretty much just like what I was assigned to. So I think we have one more poll question for you. So Naveen, is there anything that I may have missed?
Yep, I am one. Yeah, I don't think so. I think everything pretty much we talked about in this has been covered.
All right, so we have one more poll question for you here. All right, so do any of you plan on creating some of your own custom user groups? All right, we see some votes coming in. Give folks a few more seconds here.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody, most of them have voted. I will close the poll right now and share the results.
All right. It looks like several people do plan on adding some of their own user groups. And for some of you folks, it looks like someone else handles that responsibility. But certainly if any of you have any questions about how to do this at any time, certainly feel free to get in touch with us. And as you can see, I've got my contact information on the screen. I definitely thank all of you for your time. Hope you got a lot out of this. And for our next one in October, since we will be doing the custom reports, I had mentioned if there's something that you want us to go over, send me an email and we'll see if we can make sure and add that if we have time. So again, thank you all very much and have a good rest of the day.